Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi, Barak Yahawah, Barak Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who led me to this truth. I've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we'll be part of that number. Lord willing, this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. And is unto a ring. 2 Esdras chapter 5, verse 42. We're just about time, where the time is up. Jacob's trouble is about to immense, which will lead to World War III, and to the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, and the other countries around the world, and the other nations ruling in wickedness. So I want to give a sincere salutation for all the Akim that have been pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth, and to the Aqua, who have been listening and tuning in silence, and also to, the honorable multitude of few men, many women, and children, and 144,000 mighty men who govern the body, who is the governing body of Yahawashi. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, this be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord. So we're going to go deal with a couple of things that the Lord put the spirit on me to deal with before I go to the plantation today. As the far right groups could be feds, U.S. Bank will restrict cash withdrawals, and then various end time topics. So Lord willing, this edifying to the flock. We'll go ahead and get started. It says a call to arms defending America's soul and age of extremism. So that's the name of this article. We'll get into it and they'll put in some precepts. So it reads, in a speech before the last fall's midterms elections, President Biden warned, we are engaged in the battle for the nation's soul, and it will be destroyed. As I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault, he said. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. So this was the last time they were talking. How they saying right now, there's some people saying there's nothing wrong with the system and they're fine. We was saying this, the last midterms elections. So, nothing hasn't gotten better. So let's not pretend otherwise. We should start by not calling this a battle. There are white militias, Edomites, would like nothing better than the Civil War. They have been arming themselves and training for a long time. They've been training they kids. Instead, we should defend America's fundamental principles of freedom, equality, which there ain't none, morality, which there ain't none, dignity, which there ain't none, and loyalty, which there ain't none, to the same Constitution. These are the soul of the nation. So what does that mean? That means this place don't got no soul. It's a wicked nation. This is America, Babylon the Great. Look at these people, man. These are the same people they try to say, oh, now they the problem. What are you talking about? These is your people that you raised up and gave so-called white privilege to. What are you talking about? Now they the problem? Nah, you the problem and they the problem. You got to be taken out of the way. So this is Patriot Front behind conspiracists claims that the far right groups are the feds, okay? And they really are. That some of them is doctors, some of them is lawyers, some of them is all other things. The fuck is Jake doing back there, man? What the hell is y'all doing, man? And that's that's probably a tear, man. The bull biggity. On May 13, 2023, and I did a post about this on my community board. A group around 200 men dressed in nearly identical sets of tan Koskis, blue shirts, white face masks, sunglasses, and baseball caps, marched through the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Watch this little video. You got the doggone police with him and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? This is far from the first time. This is far from the first time the group self-identified as a Patriot Front has put off a demonstration like this. It's not even the first time it has happened in D.C. And it is also not the first time Snoops has addressed claims about them. Okay? This ain't the first time they done this shit. Salaki. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, Salakia. Okay, so as I was saying, you know, the participants largely hidden identities, ostentatious attempts at fascist discipline, and their sometimes cringe introducing lack of operational security have frequently led pundits, primarily on the right, to conclude that the group is part of a federal law enforcement sting. Man, these motherfuckers is racist as fuck, man. Okay? And this is showing you that the Civil War is coming. Okay, not on top of the terrible other nations fucking this place up. So we're gonna put in some precepts. We're just gonna keep doing what the Lord told us to do. We're supposed to be warning Israel of what is coming. You know, what kind of dog don't bark? You know, it's still happening every day. Second Ezra 13, chapter 13. I'm gonna start right here. Bear with me, it's taking a second to load. All right. This is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 13, and it reads, "And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and other some brought of them that were offered." Wait, what is that? That's not what I was looking for. Hold on. Let me go back. Hold on. That's not what I want to pull up. This is what I wanted. Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 31. I put 13. I actually mixed it up. So Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 31, and it reads, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place another, which is, versus this side of the world, you know, and also basically the nation of Israel versus, these carnal nations. It can mean plenty different battles that is coming one against another, but this one specifically, we're talking about the Civil War, the so-called, white people, which are the Edomites, and the other 16 nations, really when it comes down to it, versus, Israel, one place against another, one people against another. And this is talking about race riots as well, race wars, and one realm against another. So it's going to come to a point to where the spirit world is going to connect with the ground, and it's going to be the spirit world versus the physical world. And we know over here on this side, who are clean to the body of GMS, and all the members of GMS on down, starting with from Apostle to Har on down, we know they're going to lose. It's Isaiah chapter 3, verse 5. And it reads, and the people shall be oppressed, one by another, and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. And that's what's going on right now. The basis of men, and you got a lot of younger brothers, they don't want to be in order. A lot of younger people, they don't want to be in order, and they don't want to come unto submission unto the governing body of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. And that's what we got going on right. But they're gonna have to pay for that, since they don't want to get in line. Luke 12, verse 51. And it reads, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on the earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. This is talking about a civil war, and it's going to be like that basically the whole world. It's going to turn into World War III after Jacob's trouble. So this is Ecclesiastes 33:14. Actually, not Ecclesiastes, Salakia. It's Ecclesiasticus. Salakia 33:14 says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. And that's what's coming up. Either you on the side of Yahawah Yahawashi doing his work, or serving him to the best of your abilities, or you're not, It's gonna come down to it, This is Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, and it reads, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And that's how they think that is good, that they're defending America. But this place is wicked, man. All the stuff that they've done, they got to pay for that. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. All the stuff they've done to the people of the earth, the 16 other nations, and ultimately to Israel, So this is 8, verse 11. The reason why they think they're going to win, or they think that they got some kind of chance, is because right here, Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of man is fully set on them to do evil. And so they think they're not going to get judged for it. They think they're just going to keep living and keep doing wickedness and keep doing their wicked acts. And the Lord's not going to destroy them for that. They're going to be like that until the end. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. And it reads, think not I am come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Okay, the Lord is coming to destroy this place. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. And this variance is against, this truth. The Lord putting the spirit on me. I want to do this. Look up variance. So I want to say variance against the Son and the Father, and this variance is this truth. This is how he's separating the goats and the lambs. He's separating us by who is taking heed to the doctrine and considering this as 100% truth and believing that this is 100% truth and also acting on it, on their daily lives, So I said against his father at variance right here. This is G1369. Before we get into reading the rest of this scripture, we're going to look up the word variance.
Strong's G 1369. Dechazo. Dechazo.
Dechazo. It means to cut into two parts, cleave asunder, sever. So he's separating us with this truth. He's separating everybody who's believing and who's not. I've come to set a man at variance against. I have come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And that's what the Lord's doing. He's making a separation to see who is of the elect, and we hope to be part of that number. Verse 36, and a man's foes shall be as if be they of his own household. And that's why, you want to be around like-minded brothers and not about anybody who's just in the world, You want to be around somebody who's serious, because even people in their own households are going to turn on themselves. So how much more people who's not taking this truth to the fullest extent? You don't want to be around those people. Numbers chapter 14, verse 9, and it reads, only rebel not ye against the Lord Yahawashi, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Neither, or their defiance is departed from them, and the Lord Yahawashi is with us. Fear them not. The Lord's going to take care of these bastards, man. We're not supposed to fear them, even through death. Daniel chapter 11, verse 32. And it reads, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, but the people that do know their power shall be strong and do exploits. You see? I want to show you what that word means. We're strong in this truth. We don't need nobody, to recognize us in this world for what we do. All we want is the brotherhood to see that, we're on their side. That's why we do it, because we know Yahawashi is dealing with them. So if they accept us, then more than likely Yahawashi accepts us, So that's why we do what we do, to show the brotherhood that we are here to battle to the death with them in the spirit. So this is what exploit means.
Exploit.
To make full use and derive benefit from a resource. See? A resource right here. A bold or daring feat. See, it said we stand bold and stiffly for Yahawashi. And that's how we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be going against these devils on a daily basis, in the spirit. And saying we ain't afraid of y'all. We're going to keep showing our people what's going on. So the White House's Warren stocks will plunge 45% and deep recession strike in the third quarter if the U.S. defaults. And I just seen a video I watched from Apostle Tahar. He pulled up a video about a guy who was talking about the defaults that we all been talking about, and I'm just a follower, of course. But, they've been talking about it. And, the ones who follow GMS on down, who believe in GMS, we have been talking about these defaults that are coming, that is going to basically where there's going to be no more trash. The government's not going to be paying no more of these bills. So anything government-wise is not going to be paid no more. And just like they say, just like the elders and apostles say, they want this crash to happen. So, this is just showing that, it's going to go, we're going to go negative, but you're not going to really start seeing some changes till about 2 months. Real big changes are going to start happening within the next 2 months, and that's what the elder was talking about and showing that, to go watch this video. And I actually went and watched it while I was preparing this lesson, So, it was talking about the debt ceiling deadline is quickly approaching. Early as June. We had the U.S. Secretary of State talking about how, it's real. It's too soon. It's hard to be able to fix that deadline before June. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are scheduled to meet about the debt ceiling later today, whatnot. But, that was yesterday. So they should be trying to figure it out today. But more than likely, they ain't going to come up to an agreement. America, Babylon, the Great is divided right now. So then we got right here, 13 countries formally request to join BRICS. This economic alliance challenges U.S. dollar supremacy. So these are, 13 countries, from Africa, Latin America to Asia have applied for formally approach the BRICS leaders to become members of our association. So now they're not just saying that they're thinking about it. Those have applied, and they're trying to get in. So that's showing more division. Then we got probability that the U.S. banks will restrict cash withdrawals is rising like mercury, says macro guru Hugh Hendry. So Hugh Hendry is expanding his views on the U.S. banking system and amid lingering turmoil in the financial sector. In a new interview in Transberry Research with Daniela Cambone, the hedge fund manager says that Fed's tight monetary policy has increased the probability that banking customers could one day face restrictions on the amount of cash they can pull out. And that's what's coming. I don't want to get too much into it, but this is starting to go down. Stuff like this is happening. So now we're gonna pull up a couple precepts. This is gonna be Revelation chapter 3. And it reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And what's that hour of temptation? We explain it all the time, and we're going to keep explaining it. You got people who are being like, why are you always focused on this? Because this is that serious. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be focusing on warning Israel what is coming. And this is something that's very serious, because if you take this, you can get destroyed, by the fire of missiles, and there's no repentance after you take this sea hit. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. When you look up that word M-A-R-K, that it means charagma, which is an incision in your hand. It says that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the M-A-R-K or the name of the beast, and that beast is this system, United Nations, NATO, and the EU, but some of them are starting to go over there. So most of it is just, the system is based off of the revived Roman Empire, or the number of his name. And we know that number is what it says right here. It's a barcode, and it's got, these numbers on it, engraved in it. Here's the wisdom. Let him that have an understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and the number is 666. And when you look it up, this is what they're trying to put in your hand. There ain't gonna be no excuse. You got people not even in GMS that are following warning this on a regular basis. There's not gonna be no excuse at 2/3. See, that's what it looked like. It's a barcode, and they're trying to put it in your skin. They're trying to infiltrate your temple, because the temple is your body. See? So this is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 21. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahawashi, put ye off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which, all we did was talk about things of this world, whatever you did in that time. You're supposed to put off that former conversation, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts of this world, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. By what? This truth. And occupying yourselves in prophecy. Verse 24. And that ye put on the new man, which after power is created in righteousness and true holiness. We're supposed to be that way. So when he comes and brings that recompense to the earth, we are saved, Lord willing. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 2, and it reads, but even after that we have suffered before, and were shamefully entreated, as ye know, at Philippi, we were bold in our power to speak unto you the gospel of power, which is Yahawah, which must continue. See? And that's why we are bold today, and doing the same thing. For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor uncleanliness, nor in guile. We're not coming with no false doctrine, And sometimes, brothers make excuses, but if you're sincere, the Lord will show it to you and you can correct it. You know what I'm saying? But, for the most part, nah, we don't make mistakes on purpose. You got other people who know that their breakdowns is not right, and they're doing it for money. So, but you won't see us. You see, if we make a mistake, we go and correct it, because we know ultimately our lives is on the line as well. That's how serious we are about this. And that's just the elders and apostles, great millstone, on down to the followers as myself. So we need to go back one. Verse 2, I want to look up that word. Speak unto you with great contention. I'll look up that word contention real quick.
Strong's G73, Agon.
It says an assembly, a place of assembly, especially an assembly met to see games, a place of contest, an arena, a stadium, the assembly of Greeks at the national games, a battle, see, an action at law, trial. See, Esau Edom is being put on trial right now, and so are we. The Lord is taking account of everything that we do. It's a fight, a race, conflict, attention, effort, or anxiety. Figuratively. See, we're racing to Yahawashi. you know, and you know, with fear and trembling, you know, hoping that he forgives us, you know, for us exalting his name to the best of our abilities. So this is Micah chapter 5, verse 9. And it reads, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. And we have faith that Yahawashi is going to carry out this. There's not none of his words are not going to fail. So this is Romans chapter 8, verse 31. Reads, what shall we say? What shall we then say to these things? If power be for us, who can be against us? So who is going to come against us if we got Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi? Ain't nobody can come against us. You know, the Lord is ultimately going to deliver us if we are of the elect, and we hope to be part of that number. We have faith, you know, that us who do die, the Lord will, you know, crown us in the end, and we'll be resurrected first. You know, we pray to be part of that number if we're not part of the number to get saved on this side, to rise up with, you know, the ones who are still left here and be caught up in the clouds with Yahawashi. So Psalms chapter 3, verse 6, and it reads, I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people that have set themselves against me round about. So don't be scared of these people. The Lord is going to take care of their ass. He's going to mop their ass. You know, Lord willing, we make it through it while he's doing that. So before AI takes over, makes plans to give, make plans to give everyone money. But of course, we don't make plans. We don't think about tomorrow. All we do is think about today. So we're going to read a little about this. We're going to just put it in a precept. But it said artificial intelligence is coming for all our jobs. And I was just listening to one of the elders, GMS upon Precepts 3. He was talking about the same thing, about this is going to cause a lot of problems. Okay, it's going to be mass chaos when everybody starts realizing that they're using robots to take over all the jobs. And once they get all of them in there, and they say, you got to take this charagma if you want to be able to keep your, you know, keep this, you know, you don't own anything, you know, kind of mentality, but you'll be happy. You know, they were talking about doing that years ago. You know, so it says this is prevalent for this is a prevalent fear of these days, and not easily dismissed. The specific effects of revolutionary technologies are possible to predict, and perhaps AI will turn out to be overhyped, but it is really different from past advances. The work it can do is really is different. The jobs it threatens really are different. Its effects on labor market really might be different. A pair of economists, Goldman Sachs, recently estimated that 2/3 of American occupations are now exposed to AI-driven automation. In the coming decade, the technology will wipe out 300 million jobs. This is 1 out of every 11 jobs on the planet. Okay, this is serious. You know, this is not something that's just, you know, something to overlook. Okay, this is a big deal. Okay, this is not nothing to play around with. So the Lord put this precept in me to bring this precept, second address. You know, like they're building a whole workforce of robots right now. Okay, we don't know when they're gonna launch that, but we know they're gonna do it earlier because they know the Lord is shortening the time. So they're gonna do it earlier. So second Ezra chapter 15, verse 19, this is what it's gonna cause. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Ain't nobody gonna have no money because there ain't gonna be no jobs. They don't gotta feed robots. They don't gotta tell them what to do. They just program, they do it. That's them maintaining that humanity 500 million, you know, and that's why, you know, we got to stay occupied in these prophecies and pray Yahawashi delivers to us in that time, because you don't know what he can do. He can literally put a spirit on you where you don't even get hungry or thirsty, and we don't even need no food. He controls everything, Yeah, Shalom, Yahawashi Barak Atham, the water for tuning in. So this is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15, and reads, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works that are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?" And that's also, they don't think that nobody's seeing that this is coming. And they're also doing stuff like this. It said 30 tons of ammonium nitrate disappeared from the desert-bound train. So how is 30 tons, which is 60,000 pounds, how is that just going to disappear, from a train? How does this just secretly disappear? Because something's dangerous is going to happen with that that destructive, nitrate. That's nuclear right there, And if they don't have it accounted for, if something happens or something blows up, then they don't got nothing to say about it. Something's going to go down with that. We're going to consider the whole matter, as it says in the scriptures, and we'll see what's going to happen. But this is just something to pay attention to. The Lord has got something real heavy finna come. Okay, some heavy judgment, which has already been playing out. This is Ecclesiastes. Verse 14. And it reads, "For power shall bring every work unto judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." So everything secret is going to be brought to light. And that's why we fear Yahawashi, and we work on doing things righteously to the best of our abilities. So whenever those secret things that we have done righteously, they come out as something that, brings us salvation. We let these wicked people do their wicked acts, but everybody, the Lord's is building a case against everybody, and the angels are reporting to him and let him know, hey, he's doing what he's supposed to do or he's not. That's why we stay occupied in prophecy. If you worship Yahawashi every day to the best of your abilities, then that's the best you can do. There's no way you can fail. It said you won't fail. If you're the elect, and we hope to be part of that number, that's why he said to examine yourselves in this faith, because you'll know if you're a retrograde if it doesn't click, or if you don't push to the best of your abilities. But the Lord doesn't just bring anybody to the truth for no reason. You just got to endure to the end. It's going to be the biggest salvation, act of all time. He's going to save a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of people who really you wouldn't even think was going to get saved. So that's why we want to push to this match. Not just because to be saved, but because it's our duty as men. This is about our people we're talking about. We're laying down our lives for our nation. This is Luke chapter 8, verse 17. "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known come abroad." And we want our good works to follow us and come abroad at some point, even if it's after we die. We just want people to see, love the lost sheep of Israel, and we put it for the brotherhood, and that's what we want, us followers, we want to be, loved by the brotherhood, because we love the brotherhood. Because why? Because the Lord bring them to bring us out of this wicked ass, nation, and whatever we was doing wrong. So this is Mark chapter 4, verse 22, and it reads, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad." And he's letting everybody know that these wicked nations are being exposed, and all the things that are going on, the Lord has got them in that spirit to do that stuff. so they can reveal their wickedness so the Lord can destroy them. Like I was saying earlier, they're on trial right now. We're judging them, saying, yeah, you deserve this, you deserve this, you did this, you did this. And once we're done with that, and everybody's done their set measure, and the elect is sealed, then that's game over. It's gone. Be out of here, Lord willing. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that's Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And he's being revealed as the days go by. They're starting to show these people who, don't really believe this is happening. The more I go to the plantation, people, you can see it look in people's faces. They like, man, they know who the prophets are. They know GMS is the prophets. They are the prophets of the Lord. Don't need to act no more. Everything that they have said has been coming to pass. So right here, I want to deal with a couple things. But this is talking about Vladimir Putin being removed from his position could lead to the most volatile and violent regime since Hitler. Okay, and they're talking about they're close to catching him and trying to get him. Okay, they're trying to really get him and lock him up. So while that's going on, they're trying to catch him, and that could, what was the most violent regime since Hitler? That was World War II. What they talk about Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, World War III, and that's what's coming up. And while that's going on, while they're trying to look for him, it said Europe's biggest nuclear plant knocked offline or risking meltdown catastrophe in days after Putin missile blitz on Ukraine. So that's a big deal, they ain't gonna have no power over there if that gets knocked down. Okay, and that's why they're trying to get him and get him out of the way. But the Lord's using him. Ultimately, they're not going to be able to get him because the Lord wants him to destroy America, Babylon the Great. But then the Lord's going to get him. So this is what's coming for all these nations, who are taking a part in this wickedness, and all the ones that have been wicked, them other 16 other nations, plus Esau Edom, the so-called white man. This is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. This is Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. And it reads, hold on. It's 16, verse 4. Salaki. 16, verse 4. And it reads, they shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be a dung upon the face of the earth. They shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. That's what's coming. As the days go by, there's always something going on to where this place is getting closer to destruction. It's not going to get in, not for nobody. Even the elect are going to have to go through certain things, and we hope to be a part of that number because it's better for us to go through those things than being these people laying all over the street, and being judged with grievous deaths. We want to make it through Jacob's trouble. And some of us, we want to see it all because we want to see the judgment of the Lord. We want to see the adversary of our enemies. We want to see the vengeance of our enemies. We want to see him avenge us from these wicked people. So Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 22. And the Lord Yahawashi showed signs and wonders, great and sore upon Egypt. And this is what happened last time in Egypt. It's going to happen here upon Pharaoh, and the new Pharaoh is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and upon all his household before our eyes. And that's what he's doing in them today. He's doing all types of stuff to them. I just did an article I posted talking about how they said that there's going to be a pandemic that's going to come worse than that's going to come worse than the COVID thing. They got something worse coming. We know how bad that was. Everything was on lockdown. So now this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 59. And it reads, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great places, and of long continuance and sore sickness, of lifelong continuance. And that's what this place has been. It's been a sickness, you know, but it's wonderful to us. Why? Because we know that our salvation is closer than we believe, you know. We know that the Lord is going to, after we went through all these plagues and all these sicknesses and the curses and everything that our people have went through, we know that the Lord was right and he's going to get ready to bring us home. You know, we're getting back to, you know, a lot of these things have already passed, you know, but he's bringing that now. These plagues are coming now on these other nations, you know, and now they're starting to point the finger at each other, you know. So we're glad that, you know, this is happening at the same time. It's scary, but at the same time, it said the Lord will put a spirit on us where we laugh in the sight of danger. But, you know, and it says his servant shall eat. So what are we supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be serving Yahawashi. Psalm chapter 31, verse 18. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. And that's what they do. They speak proudly against us. They act like, you know, we're not a big deal. But in secret behind doors, they be having those meetings. They be like, how are we going to get rid of these people? And they be, man, we can't touch them because they're of the Lord, you know. And that's how it was last time. You know, when you go look in a lot of the stories of the Bible, they were always like, you know, there was always kingdoms like, why don't we just kill them all? And they said, we can't do that. Y'all know what Yahawashi did to the people who try to destroy them? So this is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 27, and it reads, behold, the name of the Lord coming from afar, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire. And that's what this truth is a devouring fire, and we're his mouthpiece. And the more we speak and not give the Lord no rest. You know, don't give him no rest speaking this truth out to our people, you know. And, you know, once we get done doing our sad measure, it's time to go. You know, it's time to go through Jacob's trouble. It'll be time to get out of here, Lord willing, we make it out of here. So Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 28, they are all grievous revolters, walking with slanderers. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters. And that's why, you know, it says don't trust these enemies, man. Don't trust these people when they tell you when the time comes, oh, everything's going down. It could be zombies running outside. They say, come here to be safe. Don't trust that. You got to trust in Yahawashi, you know, and they're starting to make it to where it's going to be like that. It ain't going to be no power nowhere. U.S. is going to be in default. The rest of the world is going to be in turmoil. It's going to be all types of stuff going on. So I just got a couple more clips and a couple more precepts, and I'm going to close out. This is a super typhoon and Mawar intensifying.
More on that storm, the intensity topping out at the equivalent of a high-end Category 4 hurricane into low-end Category 5 intensity. That's what we're expecting over the next couple of days. You can see exactly where Guam is. And look at that pinwheel eye. That is always a hallmark of a very powerful tropical system. You can see some of those outer bands already impacting Guam as Mawar moves off to the west. So you can see the intensity of that inner circulation, Jason. It does look like those winds are starting to pick up.
Yeah, and for those of you that are not familiar with a typhoon, basically it is the same thing as a hurricane. We just call it something different. But in terms of the danger that is associated with the super typhoon, it is massive. And there you go. You can see it right now. It's moving less at about 7 miles per hour. I think one of the other things we're going to have to note here, Ian, is that pressure, 926 millibars, it is expected to drop. And that basically means that we'll likely end up seeing some intensity here over the next 12 hours.
Yeah, it does appear.
Yeah, so that's the Lord, you know, because Jake's everywhere. So Jake's in there. 2/3 of Jake's is in there, and the Lord is after his ass. And the reason why, you know, and I did see an article talking about America, Babylon the Great has had the most catastrophes this year. Okay, so people don't think that the Lord ain't jacking up over here too. He's chasing Jake everywhere. That's why we keep telling Jake, repent, man. Come back to the ways of Yahawashi and get on them highways and byways if you're a man of the Lord, you know. Because that's the only way that, you know, that's the only way that we can show our allegiance to the brotherhood and show that, you know, we're sincere in this truth. you know, by doing all his commandments to the best of their abilities. And that's a big one right there, to be on them highways and byways, you know. And the Lord put the Spirit on you in the time you're supposed to do it if you ain't done it yet, because it's going to be a lot of new people coming to truth. But, you know, just don't take your time with it, you know. You're not saying don't take your time with it, you know, do your studying diligently, but what I mean is don't take too long, because we at the end, okay? 20 years ago, we had time to study and stuff. Like right now, it's just not that time to be taking our time. We got to get in here and do this, you know, and finish this mission. So this is talking about, I did a video yesterday about the Canadian wildfire. These wildfires created a haze all the way in Oklahoma over here over the weekend. So we're going to watch a little bit of this. And then I got one precept for this, and then I got one more about these bunkers, and then I'm going to close out. It's a lock here.
It's okay.
Man, lock here for the infomercial. Man, why I keep doing that?
Now, I'm not about to complain about the weather over the weekend, but you might have noticed the sky's looking a little hazy over the weekend and today. And apparently you can thank the Canadian wildfire smoke for
Meteorologist Sabrina Bates is joining us live in studio now. Sabrina, you spoke with the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality on what this means for us.
Yeah, and it's, you know, really crazy how far this wildfire smoke can travel. We weren't the only state affected by it. There was others as well. Now, the DEQ said that there was moderate air quality over the weekend, but it is starting to improve. Air quality monitors across Oklahoma recorded tiny smoke particles. That's from wildfire smoke all the way north near Alberta and
That's pretty far out, you know.
Saskatchewan. That's over 1,000 miles away.
Oklahoma was impacted by some fires.
You know, but since it's doing that, it's messing up. So I'm just gonna put in the preset and keep moving. So this is Jeremiah chapter 23. Verse 19. You know, and that's from them Canadian fires. And this is just something that, you know, the Lord is doing on the earth. It said, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 19, behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. You know, and that's what's happening. The Lord is doing all these mass, you know, typhoons and fires and all types of stuff. And it's just doing a lot of things that aren't really expected, you know, on the earth, you know. And you know, it's just crazy how that smoke came all the way down here and you know, caused all them clouds, you know. And that's the Lord, you know, ultimately judging somebody over there, you know. So now we're gonna go over here. This is the last one. Talks about seaside luxury bunkers where the super rich reportedly plan to save themselves from a future apocalypse because they know Yahawashi is coming. So they got these bunkers everywhere, you know, these little fallout bunkers. You know, they trying to make them look all nice and, you know, make them look real. See, look at that, man. They got a ton of them things out there. Okay, like look at that. Like that's what they're trying to live like down there. They're trying to live like luxurious. They got TVs down there. Going to the TV for. They probably gonna have a DVD player or something so they can feel like, you know, keep their sanity, whatever. But this is what's gonna happen. You know, they ain't gonna make it in there. That's them wicked elite trying to go down there. They're gonna be the first ones to go into slavery. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 1. And it reads, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the intel of the door, that the post may shake and cut them in the head, all of them. And this is that 7-headed system, that beast system, you know, that he's talking about. He's talking about tearing down the whole system. and I will slay the last of them with the sword. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to slay the last with them with the sword. He's going to bring in the remnant of Esau, you know, the elites into slavery. He that fleeth to them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth them shall not be delivered. Verse 2, though they dig into hell, they bunkers, they nice little luxurious bunkers. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence I will bring them down, which is those space stations. They got little space pods up there that they charging people to, you know, escape in. So verse 3, and though they hide themselves in the talk of Carmel, I will take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence I will command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And that's the Leviathan. You know, it's going to come and destroy them down there who's trying to hide in the submarine. Though they go into captivity before their eyes, thence I will command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good. You know, the Lord is coming after these devils. And the Lord, power of hosts, Yahawashi, is he that toucheth the land, and it shall melt with what? The intercontinental ballistic missiles, and all that dwell therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as by the flood of Egypt. It's going to be a flood of fire. So that's what I got today. You know, Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. So shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi, Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. I got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone led me to this truth and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Lord willing, is be edifying those who fear in the name of the Lord and is striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, and is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Wow, ball, the water for tuning in. Lord willing, this is edifying to you brothers and sisters out there that are sincere, worshiping the name of Yahawashi in these last days. So shalom, ball.